FBI Director Kash Patel revealing Thursday that the Bureau, while under President Biden's administration, subpoenaed both his phone records and those of the White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, both of whom were private citizens at the time.
Patel says investigators obtained records that detailed timing and recipients of calls made between 2020 and 2023 as part of the federal investigation into whether President Trump improperly stored classified documents at his home in Mar-a-Lago. In response to Patel's revelations, Wiles reportedly told associates that she was, quote, in shock. Patel himself offered harsh criticism of the subpoenas, saying in a statement to Axios, quote, "It is outrageous and deeply alarming that previous FBI leadership secretly subpoenaed my own phone records, along with those of now White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles, using flimsy pretexts and burying the entire process in prohibited case files designed to evade all oversight." The news comes as Patel continues to purge the Bureau of agents who worked on investigations into President Trump. Yesterday, the Bureau fired around 10 additional agents who had worked on that classified documents case.
Now, despite Patel and Wiles' outrage, the New York Times reports these revelations may only be news to them. The Times writes, "It has been known for years that Mr. Patel was closely scrutinized by investigators under the special counsel Jack Smith and was compelled to testify in front of a grand jury. The fact that investigators obtained some of Ms. Wiles' phone records was made public during the inquiry into Mr. Trump's mishandling of classified documents. According to their report, Patel came under scrutiny after it emerged that he had come to Mr. Trump's aid after the FBI searched Mr. Trump's residence in August 2022, and the subpoena for Ms. Wiles' records was largely restricted to her communications with lawyers working for Trump or witnesses in the Trump cases." Meantime, former DOJ Director of Public Affairs, Anthony Cooley, dismissed the news as pretext for arresting Jack Smith. He told Axios that Patel is, quote, "on a singular mission to find something, anything for which to prosecute Jack Smith. That's what Donald Trump demanded, and that's what he and Attorney General Pam Bondi are trying to deliver." Oh,
this
man.
continues.
This is, I was like, this always is about being surveilled. I'm definitely not for as consistent surveillance state, but I know that subpoenas are lawful and they're a legitimate part of a criminal investigation, right? I know that it was phone metadata, from what I understand, that they are always collecting phone data in national security cases for the most part. It's not like a rare thing that they attacked them, and they explain both of their connections, and Susie Wiles talking to the lawyers, and exactly Kash Patel's close association with Trump, and how right after Mar-a-Lago was reviewed, he was in close contact with him. So maybe that's what they were looking for. I understand the frustration of Susie Wiles and Kash Patel, but I think, for Kash Patel to get in his office and just go off and start firing people, we know he fired 10 more people, but fired people that were actually doing their job. I think that is polarizing itself, because a lot of people, even current FBI agents, were defending the people that got fired, saying they were following through with orders that they thought were impartial because it was an active investigation. So I don't think that the proper retaliation or response to what happened historically in the FBI is something where you should just make it very biased towards people who have an affinity to you.
I think Trump and Republicans would argue that the FBI has been very biased against them, and that this is yet again another weaponization of the federal government against political adversaries by the previous administration. We know that the Trump administration was surveilled previously. We know that their campaign was surveilled previously. We know that there has been an ongoing investigation and that it has been hidden. And it continues to give Republicans the us versus them. This is the deep state. And people called Trump so crazy for saying there was a deep state, that there were all these nefarious actors. And it continues to come to light that they have been targeting Republicans and targeting those associated with President Trump. So Republicans will continue to stand up and say, this is not okay. You are using the federal government to try and enact political retribution. And on Kash Patel firing the 10 agents, I don't know what those agents did. I don't know what the cause is. It might be like a Michael Scott, The Office, it's because I hate them firing. Who knows what the cause is of it? But I just heard Democrats put out a video from the Hill about don't follow illegal orders. And if these orders that these agents were given were in fact improper and not supposed to be done, then they should be held to account for that. And Democrats should applaud it. But again, everybody immediately gets into their political corners, puts their jersey on and says, oh, Kash Patel should have known. Oh, Susie's fine. Everything's fine. This isn't a big deal. It is a big deal. These were private citizens of the United States who were being surveilled by the federal government for their association and work with the former president of the United States. That's a big deal, and we should continue to shine light on it.
So the president campaigned on the idea that he was a victim of this political system, right? You just talked about many ways that the political system was used in ways against the president. The president has returned to office after campaigning that way and saying he's going to break down the bureaucracy and essentially done the same exact thing, continuing on the games. I mean, we saw the tweet that was not supposed to be public directly to Pam Bondi saying, go after Letitia James. And then you saw them try to go after
Letitia James, but that's a separate.
But now he's trying to go after her for her connection with her hairdresser. I mean, it's getting out of hand.
Breaking the rules
right?
or breaking the rules.
But her hairdresser breaking the rules has nothing to do with her. I mean,
but her prosecutorial misconduct in New York has been egregious, and there are plenty of reasons.
She prosecuted him in a civil trial. He's trying to put the woman in jail for giving her niece her house. He tried to
put her in jail, and if she committed fraud, abso-freaking-lutely.
So the point is, he's still doing the same political retribution that he campaigned against. So what's the difference between the same, like you said, Republicans who felt attacked by the system that now create a system that is set up to attack Democrats? I don't see how that would be.
I do not believe in political retribution using the federal government. I do believe in being able to investigate and hold people to account of both parties. And Letitia James has been scot-free in the state of New York. And for time and again, and her level of prosecutorial misconduct is lucky that more cases haven't been overturned in that state. That woman should not have a job, let alone any crime she broke. There's no problem with an investigation. I've got no problem with it. I don't know why anybody else would. Is it because she's a Democrat? Is that why it's a problem? Because I think Letitia James should be investigated for a number of reasons. And if she's broken the law, absolutely. So if that is what the government should do, it should do it. It shouldn't be used as political retribution. I can agree with that. But just because we're investigating Democrats doesn't mean it's political retribution.
Yeah, but a lot of signs point to the fact that Trump is not just going down.
He holds a grudge like a handbag.
Yeah, hold it like this is point
every day of his life.
Right. Okay, there's some grudges in here.
Oh, totally.
So we have to admit that. That's all I want to say is that if he actively campaigned on not doing that, he should prosecute people that he feels like have actually done something wrong, as opposed to, I'm about to get you back.
Well, I don't think it's always necessarily I got you back or I'm going to get you back, but I do think that the president is using the levers available to him to make sure that there are investigations into Democrats for wrongdoing.
All right, up next, surprising move from Netflix as the streaming giant officially dropped out of the race to acquire Warner Brothers. We'll be right back to talk about that.